A new tour in County Meath gives you a taste of Irish mythology. Listen on to learn about the Salmon of Knowledge experience. Thank you so much for tuning into the Traveling in Ireland podcast today. I am incredibly excited to introduce you to Gerry Meade, who has kind of started a new section, if you will, of tourism in Ireland that really focuses on the mythology of Ireland. So, Gerry, I am so glad to talk with you today and to hear more about this.
Delighted to talk to you, and wishing you all the well in America from rainy Ireland. So hopefully when the visitors from America come this summer or any time during the year, we won't have as much rain. But I'm delighted to be talking to you today.
Well, it is the rain that gives you all the shades of green. And you know, people don't travel to Ireland for the weather, but instead for the history and the culture and the beautiful stories. And one of those beautiful stories is really what your entire experience focuses on. So would you like to maybe explain that a bit?
Well, it's a story that every Irish child basically learns either from their parents at home or by the time they get to primary school or even, kindergarten. You'd hear about it, because how could you not be enthralled by a story with a sacred river, magical hazelnuts, a supernatural fish, a boy warrior hero that goes on to become Ireland's most famous warrior, and a wily old druid wise man. So when you put all of that into a mix, you can't but have a wonderful story. So and fortunately, it's based in my own home county of Meath. So hence my developing a tourism attraction around it.
And, of course, you're talking of the Salmon of Knowledge, if people aren't up on their Irish mythology. And this is really one of probably the most popular and well-known stories from Ireland.
Yes, it's one of the most well-known, but I was surprised that, it hasn't been cottoned onto before. And when I came back to my home county in Meath, I'd been away for the best part of 20 years, traveling the world. I'm a chef by profession, so I had been traveling around, and I happened to just pop into the local tourist office, and I got talking to the girl, and she was going, well, we've got wonderful stuff in Meath. We have Newgrange and the Hill of Tara and some of the most important tourism sites in the country. And she said, we could do with something new. And I said, well, that's true. We're selling the same stuff all the time, and the tourists like to come back to Ireland, and it would be nice for something new. Mm-hmm. And this was around 2001, 2002. So by the time I had got back to my house from that meeting, the idea had formed in my head, because she said, why not think about something around food? And of course, when I thought of the local history, the Salmon of Knowledge came straight to mind, and I thought, well, there we go. We got history and food. Let's make something out of this. And straight away, I came up with the idea, and it's been brewing away in the back of my mind for all those years. And I've actually had 2 attempts already to get it going, but it was only in the last couple of years that finally, third time lucky, I managed to get it off the ground.
Now, County Meath is kind of, I don't want to say it's the heart of the new Ireland's Ancient East initiative or trail, but it really does play a great part, because beyond Newgrange and the Hill of Tara, you've got Kells, where the famous book was at least partially written. You have the Loch Crew Cairns, right at the edge of the county, if I have my geography correct.
Uh-huh.
And you're quite near to Dublin. So you really do have a lot.
well, we also have the Battle of the Boyne, and we
right.
have the Norman Castle in Trim,
Oh,
where
true.
Braveheart the movie was done.
Yes.
You know, we have the Hill of Slane. We have Newgrange, and I like to think that nearly all the important stuff in Irish history really happened on the banks of the Boyne. So it really is Ireland's history in a county, if you like. If you come to Meath, you really are getting the full package. And all I'm doing is complementing this by adding an extra item on the menu, if you like, and literally in the case of salmon. And it's taking a local legend and kind of bringing it to life. And because we've got so much in Irish history, but as you said, one of the areas we haven't really marketed or given to our tourists strongly enough is our mythology, and we're steeped in it. And so I'm really hoping that this new tourism attraction will actually stimulate more mythological tourism attractions in the country, because we have a lot of stories, and we need to bring them, we need to animate them for our visitors, and I think it just adds an extra layer to the already deep level of tourism attractions in the country.
Now, for those who have maybe never heard about the Salmon of Knowledge, or only just maybe have a very slight understanding of it, is there a way to give a little background to this story without it, in a Cliff's Notes version?
It's about how one of our most famous Irish heroes acquired his supernatural powers, basically. And while he was a boy, he was sent up to County Meath from another part of the country to be schooled. And it's during this schooling that the great event happens where he acquires the knowledge. And I like to say it's a story with a twist in its tail, because it's about a fish. So you'll have to excuse my Irish pun, but it's true. Basically, he inadvertently acquires the knowledge and goes on then to be Ireland's superhero. So it's a modern day superhero story, if you like. And so even back then, in the reputed 2nd century, they wanted superheroes, and this is bringing one of our superheroes into a modern context, and bringing it into a scenario where not only are you getting to learn the story at the location where it was supposed to happen, but you're also getting to eat some of the fish, because of course the central tenet of the story is that when the fish is eaten, the magic happens. So by me also offering a piece of real salmon to the tourists, I'm adding an extra layer of fun in that, hoping they'll acquire some extra knowledge having come to Ireland. So there's a little bit of fun there as well. And so far, the tours that have had experience of it have really enjoyed that aspect of it, because there's nothing better than having an interpretive scenario mixed with a bit of fun. And we like our crack in Ireland, our fun, and to have a little bit of humour wrapped around it is very important. And also, your business is about families, and one of the things that I've noticed is that the schools here are interested, because it's really a story for kids as well as adults. I've found that the children are just as interested in it. So as regards a tourism attraction for all the family, it's absolutely made perfect for that.
Oh, that's wonderful. And any time that you can include a story and an experience into tourism, it really does make it more interesting. I mean, not only for kids, but really for everyone, because I think what a lot of people are really yearning for when they are visiting Ireland, what people ask me for is experience and culture and history. And, while it's great to visit and see things, being able to have that extra involvement or become part of a story really draws people, I think, even closer, and gives them that just little bit of extra that makes their vacation complete, if that makes sense.
We are all kids at heart. We all still love to be amused, and to have such an ancient story. And this is what Ireland's Ancient East is all about. It completely personifies the brand of having, to bring up all of these ancient experiences and to give them to the modern visitor. You're really getting in touch with the deepest roots of the country. And if you've got Irish heritage or ancestry, you're making a real connection with your past, and this is where you've come from. And by going into the Celtic mythology, and the whole Celtic world is just so mythological, and of course, we don't know how much of it is true, but all of these stories have been passed down through generations, and there's so many references to it in the annals of Irish history that it can only have some sort of truth in it. And, all I've done is I've actually, with the help of University College Dublin, they actually have a department of folklore and mythology, and I've actually showed them my script and to be approved and to have it checked out. So I've got a definitive version of the story, because obviously there will be other versions over the years in various books, but I've done 2 years of research on the actual story itself. So what I relay to the visitors is absolutely the best version possible. And to have it relayed to them at the banks of the river that is actually the subject of the story in a beautiful picturesque setting here just in Navan, it can't be better. And then to have it all finished off in the quintessential Irish pub just across the other side of the river where they can eat the salmon, well, you've got a great experience. All we need is sunshine.
Even a rainy day in Ireland is good.
Well, I'm providing umbrellas too, so just in case. But
so,
you can't beat the sanctuary of a pub from a rainy day.
Very true.
We were talking about the rain. We do really nice rain here. My friends in France call it the champagne rain of Ireland. If there was prizes for rain, we would be getting we'd be like a Grand Cru Classé. We'd be like vintage rain.
Oh, that's such a lovely way to put it. So now you've described your experience a little bit, where you do begin on the banks of the river, and then you obviously move on to a pub, and you have some salmon tasting, and obviously stories. Is there? I mean, I know the experience lasts about 2 hours, if I'm correct, from reading your material. So what else can people expect in this experience? Well,
when they have the river walk and the story, when they get to the pub, then they can learn more about the story. I have a storyboard with images of the characters from the story. I've got a large replica salmon, which of course is the Salmon of Knowledge, and I've got a story to do with this salmon, but it's only revealed on the tour, so that would be giving away too much.
Of course.
And in the pub itself, it's a very, very nice pub, and it's got a museum at the back, which has got the restoration of the old forge in Navan, so people can have a little history of the town in the pub. And as well as that, we've been getting Bunratty Mead, which is the really only commercial mead, and this is the heady wine, the drink of the Celts. So at the bar, they can also purchase a glass of mead, or Irish coffee, or pull their own pint of Guinness. So there'll be lots of things to do in the pub for that hour. But mostly people just want to continue on about finding out more about the story, and there's also some merchandise that's related to the story. So it's a nice, relaxing time after the walk to sit there and have a little chat about the story. And also, the bar has got so many things to see and experience within it as well.
So a really great pub experience to kind of wrap it up. That's wonderful.
I thought well, initially, I thought I would have to bring the pub into the experience, but it wasn't always going to be easy to have the eating outside. So This is why I came up with the idea of having part 2 with relaxation, because people after a walk, especially if they're elderly, they like to sit down, and it's not easy to sit down at a river sometimes. So the whole idea of bringing a pub into the tour experience was an easy one to come up with, and it's only like a 5-10 minute walk to the pub just across the river. So on a nice day, it'll be just about what people will enjoy, and not too tiring.
It sounds like a wonderful experience, and it's not one that I have had yet, so it's definitely something that I'm going to look to add to our itinerary the next time we are in the Dublin eastern side of Ireland area, and I'm really excited to see if anything else develops following this. It seems like it's such a great fit for tourism in general.
Yeah, we need to seek out more. We're going to have close on 10 million visitors coming to Ireland in the near future. It's a huge part of our economy, so we can't rest on our laurels. We absolutely need to develop new ideas for what we've got, and we've got such a lot of areas to tap into. Mm-hmm. And my area of mythology is only one, and we need to have everybody around the country working on more ideas, so that if people come back to Ireland a second time, because you could never get tired of Ireland. So, but you could certainly be getting tired if you're seeing the same things every year. So you're better off developing new ideas, and this is certainly one that's brand new and hasn't been done anywhere. And I'm sure the visitors coming from America will definitely enjoy it. The American groups I've had so far have been absolutely bowled over by it.
Excellent. Now, the groups you have, I know that, the website has a lot of information. You have a very active Facebook presence. What is the best way, if people are interested in joining one of your groups, what is the best way for them to contact you?
Yeah, they just need to ring me if they're in Ireland, to ring me,
Mm-hmm.
or if they're coming to Ireland, email me in advance. And then once I've got the initial connection, there's only one tour a day,
Mm-hmm.
and the time of this tour will be flexible depending on who booked it first. So the whole idea is that I have to be able to accommodate people's itineraries. Mm-hmm. So if a group of 4 or 5 people ring me up and say, "Can we do the tour tomorrow?" I'll say, "What time suits you?" And then for following bookings, they'll all be added on to that time. So the whole idea is first in, get the tour time. And I only need 4 people for a tour. So it's nice and small, but obviously I'm working with lots of local accommodation providers, etc. So every time a tour is booked, I'll be notifying everybody in the area by text what time the tour is the next day. So basically you need to be in the day before, not only to find out the time, but if you want to book a tour at all.
Okay.
So that's basically the plan, to have that flexibility and not have it so rigid, and that way people are not running late, and if we need to delay it a little bit, we can. Because, in Ireland, we don't like doing the clock too much, So we always say that, you take your watch off when you land at the airport and only put it back on when you're catching your plane.
Yeah. There's American time and there's Irish time, and there is definitely a bit of a difference.
Yeah,
there can be. It's more relaxed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, that's the whole idea of Ireland. It's to relax, and if I can be flexible on my time to accommodate as many people as possible, I think that's the way to go. I don't want people missing a tour because it was too early, or and I'm sure people will be understanding, especially if they're in the area already and they're just strolling around. People they don't like to be rushed and pushed into tours, feeling like they're just a number. I think I want to make it that hospitable experience, a friendly experience as well. Well, and that's what Ireland is known for.
And it sounds like it's a great experience, and like I said, I'm excited to give it a try the next time we're in the area. I love things.
Well, I'll be very delighted to welcome you and to give you the experience, and I'm sure you'll enjoy it. But you can see already from the social media, that the positive feedback is good, and and it's all about the feedback. And if people are enjoying it and saying it's a good experience, well then it's got to be. And I'm going to be working harder to make it as good as possible. And it's going to be interesting to see the different relationships, because the Americans and Europeans and other international tourists, everybody has a kind of different reaction. So I'll be tailoring it a bit for the American market as well, to make sure that they get the most out of it. And so I'll be getting the feedback each time there's an American group to make sure that their feedback is appreciated and acted upon if it's something that can contribute to making the tour even better.
Wonderful.
So,
excellent. Well, we've talked quite a little bit about your small area of Ireland and the special things there. And one question that I always ask when I'm speaking with people are, what are 3 other places that you would recommend that people visit when they're in Ireland? Are there 3 places that really jump out at you
Yeah, for me, UNESCO and the World Heritage Sites are amazingly important as an endorsement to the country. Mm-hmm. And we have three of them in Ireland. We have the Giant Causeway up in County Antrim. We have Skellig Michael, which is where the latest Star Wars clips were made off the coast of Kerry. And we also have Newgrange here in County Meath. So I would recommend those three. There are three big World Heritage Site recommendations. And I would always say for first-time visitors to Ireland, even though they're in such
yeah, you're kind of stretching a trip there for an average visitor.
You'd really want to be having a good couple of weeks in Ireland to be covering that ground. Mm-hmm. But even to get one of them would be great, because I think it's very important to see the best sites on your first visit. And then on your second or third visit, if you're coming back, you can get into the more, unsung parts of the country. Mm-hmm. But certainly, it's like going to America and not seeing the Statue of Liberty, or, you really need to see the big attractions, or the Eiffel Tower in Paris. You want to go, and these are our big stars in our tourism, and they are really magical places. So I would recommend those.
Those are great recommendations.
Yeah. I'd also recommend Bunratty Castle. I think that's a very important place as well. It really does have a wonderful feel of how Ireland is there as well.
And they do a very good job there as well.
They do a fantastic job. And, it's about also giving a sense of our past. Even though Ireland is a very modern country now, we want to make sure we don't lose that image of our past, because we're a product of our past. And, mm-hmm. For people coming to Ireland for the first time, especially with the Irish ancestry, it's very important that we keep that historical identity. And even though it might not be so realistic as it was in previous generations, we like to think that we're giving a true, honest image of it,
Yeah, and it is important.
People who are descended from Ireland in a new world country will really appreciate our old ways, for want of a better term.
I think one of the big draws to Ireland is that while you are modern, Dublin is an incredibly modern city, but you can walk through Dublin and, even though you have a light rail running past you, the building next to you dates back to the 12th century. So I think that Ireland has been able to move forward while still retaining the importance of its past, and not thinking, okay, that's over and done and it's gone, and really just bringing the two together so well in a way that translates.
Also, I was talking to a consultant who works for UNESCO, and he's the guy that goes around the world deciding if your heritage site is worth a gong or not. Mm-hmm. And I asked him what was his favourite in Ireland, and he said the Hill of Tara. And I said, why? And he said, well, think about it. They've actually done nothing to it. Mm-hmm. It's free. You can walk up it. It's good exercise. It's got the most amazing vista of looking around all of the other counties. It's probably one of the most historical sites on the planet with such importance. And he says, and that's the magic of it. It hasn't been commercialized.
Right.
You've just left it like that. The only thing it's used for is the sheep graze and keep the grass short. And apart from that, you can just drive up, park your car, or get out of your coach and walk up, and you are walking down the whole of Irish history while you're walking up it. And when you look out on all the counties and you look at where the High King of Ireland sat, looking out over the whole of the country, when he stood up there, he said it was just like standing on all the other sacred sites around the world, like Uluru, in Australia, Ayers Rock. He said there was a magical frisson when you stood on the Hill of Tara. And that's, for me, and you don't need to build a multi-million-pound interpretive complex for that. You just leave it as it was. And so that, for me, exemplifies the magic of Irish tourism,
And that's a magical site, that's for sure. Well, Gerry, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me and to tell me about this, the Salmon of Knowledge experience in Navan. It sounds like it's wonderful. It sounds like it has a full Irish experience from the story to the pub that is really going to help people, understand a little more of that magic that Ireland holds that, might just kind of shimmer above the surface, but you really have to try to reach out and grab it to get that full feeling, and it was wonderful.
And you hit upon the word magic, and people love a bit of magic, and there's nothing like I say in my pitch, it's just a little chapter from Ireland's colourful storybook, because our storybook is so rich and so deep, and all I've done is just taken one little excerpt and put it into a product so that people can touch it and actually eat it, So it's going to be wonderful to welcome all our American cousins to the experience, and I look forward to welcoming families especially, and thank you for showing your interest in the product and helping me to promote it stateside.
For more information about the Salmon of Knowledge experience, visit salmonofknowledgeexperience.com, or you can call Gerry at 353-085-717-9005. Remember, if you're calling from the United States, that is an international call, and you must begin by dialing 011.